Camera's on.
It is. Loading channel. Loading video. We are live on the internets.
Nice.
Now to find out if our volume is working the way we expect it to.
Well, it's going to be funny listening to ourselves on a delay.
Yeah. Chat. That's not what we want. I've looked at this before. Channels.
Isn't there like a watch this dude button?
That's that. Don't worry about us, friends. We're just messing about here.
Oh, are there people watching already?
Nope.
Oh.
But just in case.
Yep. If you're watching, you're awesome.
If you're watching, tell us why.
Yeah. Don't you have something better to do on a Thursday?
You should. You definitely should.
I don't know. It's a Thursday.
That's true. We're not showing up in this stream list. Oh, we've got one viewer. Hello, one viewer.
Is it you?
It shouldn't be. We're just doing a quick test setup to see how this works. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, we have no idea if we're getting through to you at all.
A quick test setup to see how this works. I don't think we're coming through.
You can post in chat if you can hear us. We're getting through to you at all.
I don't think we're coming through.
You can post in chat if you can hear us. We're getting through to you at all. Should I try and tune in?
That's my plan.
All right. You can post in chat if you can hear us. We're getting through to you at all. Well, I actually have a different account. It might not let you watch your own stream, right? All right.
I might not.
You can post in chat if you can hear us. We're getting through to you. So give me a second. At all. Well, I actually have a different account. It might not let you watch your own stream, right? All right. How long's the delay? You can post 10 minutes. You can hear us.
Oh no.
Give me a second.
So if we're talking.
Well, I actually have a different account. It might not let you watch your own stream, right? All right. How long's the delay? You can post 10 minutes. You can hear us.
Oh no.
Give me a second.
Alright, I'm logging out as me. So if we're talking.
Well, I actually have a different account. It might not let you watch your own stream, right? All right. How long's the delay? Goddamn Twitch password. 10 minutes. You can hear us.
Oh no.
Give me a second.
Alright, I'm logging out as me. So if we're talking.
Well, I actually have a different account. It might not let you watch your own stream. That's a no so far. Goddamn Twitch password. 10 minutes.
Wow, we are professionals. We are totally professionals.
Well, I actually have a different account. It might not let you watch your own stream. That's a no so far. Goddamn Twitch password.
Wow, we are professionals. We are totally professionals.
That's a no so far. Oh, there we go.
That's somebody else's stream, not
Oh.
us, obviously. We are totally professionals.
That's a no so far. Oh, there we go.
We are testing audio, so if you are in chat and watching right now, if you wouldn't mind pushing the button to let us know that it worked, that'd be awesome.
Oh, there we go.
We are testing audio.
All right, I can't figure out my Twitch password.
If you are in chat and watching right now, if you wouldn't mind pushing the button to let us know that it worked, that'd be awesome.
Oh, there we go.
We are testing audio.
All right, I can't figure out my
So
Twitch
if you are
password.
in chat and watching right now, if you wouldn't mind pushing the button to let us know that it worked, that'd be awesome.
Oh, there we go.
We are testing audio.
All right, I can't figure out my
So
Twitch
if you are
password.
in chat and watching right now, if you wouldn't mind pushing the button to let us know that it worked, that'd be awesome.
Oh, there we go.
We are testing audio.
All right, I can't figure out my Twitch password.
In chat and watching right now, if you wouldn't mind pushing the button to let us know that it worked, that'd be awesome.
Oh, there we go. All right, I can't
I
figure out my
think
Twitch
one of them
password.
is me and one of them is my laptop.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's see what happens here once you get through commercial. And in the meantime, we can go back to this
Yeah.
nonsense. Alright, so let's see what happens here once you get through commercial. Awesome. And in the meantime, I'm going to plug this back in here. Go back to this
Yeah.
nonsense. Alright, so let's see what happens here once you get through commercial. Awesome. And in the meantime...
Oh.
You know what? It's totally working.
Yeah.
It's totally working because if I hit mute, now that voice goes away. Right. What? So I had my stream running on my dashboard. Hi, friends. We're just testing up a mic setup here to see if this works. If you can hear us, please feel free to say so in the chat. Yeah, you're watching it right now.
Yeah.
It's a little bit delayed, but it's working. That's cool. All right. Awesome. Now, the problem becomes recording the sound once the show is going.
Right.
And I'm not sure how to do that at this point. But that's for another time. We are live on the internets on this test setup. Hello, friends.
I cannot get this to work.
What are you trying to get to work?
I'm just trying to log in.
Oh. So now if I unmute this, we should then hear us again. Are you trying to get to work?
I'm just trying to log in.
Yeah, there you go. Oh. But the audio sounds good.
Yeah. It's really clear. I didn't hear that static that we were getting earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Okay.
Am I using the wrong username?
We're going to turn that up just a little bit so we can actually hear each other with our headphones on. And just doing some tests. But the plan is, for those of you who are sitting there watching us make fools of ourselves at the moment,
Which we're really good at.
we're very, very good at.
This is like...
Oh yeah, this is just a warm-up.
Danica was like, do you want to sign up for being an idiot on the internet? And I was like, yes.
Sign me up. So, as you can see, right below his name there, that's Alex. Yeah, we can hear him on his phone testing. And I'm Dan.
Muting that
and
shit.
What this is going to be is the 15 Minutes of Lame podcast, only via stream. And that is the plan. The next step in this crazy debacle is to figure out how to record my audio that I normally record, which you can find over at the iTunes on 15minutesoflame.com, or actually 15mofl.com, and 15 Minutes of Lame on the iTunes and on Stitcher if you're into that sort of thing. We talk about video games and board games and all sorts of fun games. And I'm turning up a little bit here just to get a little bit better sound, hopefully.
Could also talk about unfun games, just to warn people.
Yeah, we could totally also talk about unfun games, and that's not cool for you. But I don't really care because this is our show. If you want to talk about fun games, you go to your own show, and we will talk about what it is that we want to talk about.
Finally freaking logged in.
You logged in. Yay! So Alex is just visiting me for a couple days here, and he is playing around. I've got this new microphone to capture his epic beardness. Or microphone. Wow. Professional show here, kids. Professional show here. We've got this brand new HD Pro camera pointed right at his mug to get that gorgeous beard of his. The next things that I kind of need... Oh, and my laundry basket over there. But the next things that I need is proper lighting. And that's easy to do. For the two of us, I need a regular camera here. And
so it says 3 viewers, but the viewer list is just you and I.
So the viewer lists are going to be only if they're signed in. So if it's somebody who's watching that doesn't have an account, it'll just be a regular, it'll be, a third person that doesn't have an account. But since I have you on that list, I'm totally putting you on the follows. You're welcome, sir. We've got that covered.
Yeah.
You're totally.
Now that I'm logged in, I should probably follow you because...
Edit. Editors have access to your dashboard. Oh, my phone is doing something silly. Totally got an email. Probably saying, hey, look, Mobius is following me. Yay.
Instant gratification.
It's totally cool like that. All right. So this is completely new for me. I usually just play video games, but the plan is to once a week record an episode of my show, the 15 Minutes of Lame podcast at 15mfl.com, if you didn't hear that before. An episode of the podcast while having a friend as a guest. And this could be somebody here with me like Alex is now, or when he goes back home to where he lives and he wants to Skype in and be on the show, he can totally do it that way too. And we can... Why is it saying I'm offline? Nope, there we go.
We're not offline. We are
totally
totally online right now. Online.
Totally.
Now in over 256 colors.
Here's what I'm going to do, because we're just messing about here anyway. I'm going to change the title of the broadcast to what it's supposed to be, which is the 15 M of L podcast episode 17.
If you are only getting this broadcast in 256 colors, I'm sorry.
Well, you know, you're a little dark, so there's that. And I'm a little light. It's all good.
Even this mic was disappointed in me. It just kind of drooped over while I was doing that.
Totally drooped on you, yes. Post PAX.
Disapproving mic disapproves.
All right, so Alex is in town specifically because PAX was in Seattle this weekend. And, yeah, he's going to show off his lovely shirt there. And the reason he's still here is because it's Labor Day coming up, and he wanted to hang out with us a little bit more. So that was pretty nice of him. And so we thought we'd take the opportunity to have just a little bit of a debrief as to what we liked and didn't like about PAX this year. I really didn't have a whole lot of dislikes, other than the fact that it always seems to go by a little too quick. For those of you who don't know, and you're just hopping into this for some reason, and you don't know what PAX is, you've been under a gaming rock for a while. PAX is short for Penny Arcade Expo. There are now 4 shows for PAX. Originally started here in Seattle in 2006. And now we are into 2015, and we have PAX Prime, which is this show in Seattle. I'm going to take my glasses off because they're fogging up. That is crazy.
Damn, that's hot.
I know.
But
so hot. Other things we got to do. We need to take test setup off because we're no longer testing the setup. So PAX Prime is in Seattle. It's typically around Labor Day weekend. 15 minutes of lame, because that's what we do. Podcast. Excellent. We're getting there, and this will be a lot prettier later on, but not right now. So PAX Prime is always right around Labor Day weekend. Then there is one in Boston, PAX East, and that is during right around Easter time, somewhere a couple.
That
weeks
one shifts
Easter.
a little more because of other things that are in Boston. In
Boston, correct. It's at the Boston Convention Center. And then came PAX Oz, and that is in Melbourne, Australia. And that is coming up here in a couple weeks, yeah?
End of October.
And so that's for all the down unders to go ape about video games down there.
And I think tickets are still available, if I remember maybe.
Could be PAXsite.com if you're in Australia and you're
checking it
this.
now. I'm fact-checking myself.
He's going to fact-check himself. It's the future, kids. We can fact-check ourselves and talk shit about ourselves on the internet at the same time. At the same time, we can do that.
Imagine if politicians did this.
Oh, man, they would be so screwed. Man.
Yes, 3-day badges are still available, as are single days. Saturdays are running low.
If you're in Australia and
Oh, no, sorry. International 3-day. What does that even mean?
I don't know. Maybe international shipping? 3 days? Who knows?
Oh,
Anyway,
so the 3 days for people who want to go there from the U.S.?
could be.
Well, single-day badges are available, so you can get all 3. The Saturdays are low.
Excellent.
But,
you can definitely do all of that. So, and then finally last year in January is PAX South, which would be the next domestic in the United States PAX, and that is in San Antonio. Tickets have already gone on sale for
No,
that?
not yet.
Not yet.
I think later this month they posted
Oh,
on
yes.
the website.
I think
September 19th.
Yeah, right around the 19th, 20th, 21st.
They are
right
planning September 19th.
Yes, so if you are interested in gaming conventions and you're in the South or anywhere within plane shot of San Antonio, you too could experience a PAX. Now, what is PAX? PAX started off by the 2 creators of the Penny Arcade comic, which is a webcomic in which the 2 creators, Jerry Holkins and Mike Krahulik, basically talk about nerd culture and video games and board games and the things that they were doing in their lives.
They use the 3-panel comic medium to criticize gaming.
Criticize and also...
or mock.
Yeah, or and also glorify things that they thought was really cool. Or whatever the case may be. You know, it's their comic. They can do what they want with it. But they started going to San Diego Comic-Con. Were very popular down there. And then they just had, they started watching and they're like, this kind of sucks. Like, not in so many words, but they basically said they didn't like the way that it was run. Like, if they were going there as attendees, they wouldn't have enjoyed it. So they decided to come back to Seattle and create a convention that they would want to go to. So this place has a big expo hall where you can go and check out the latest and greatest games from Microsoft and from Nintendo and Ubisoft and Sony and all the different spectrum across the way. And they also have musical concerts that are all nerdy themed. So you can see guys like the Proto Men and MC Frontalot,
Paul and the Storm, the Double Clicks.
Yeah, all sorts of wonderful musicians. There's a giant tabletop area where you can give them your ID and you can basically check out any tabletop game under the sun to go play with your friends. Very, very cool convention.
And lots of great panel content in the theaters.
That's also true. Go ahead.
All kinds of great content, for card games and diversity and all kinds of things. You can find great panel content as well. It's
a big infomercial for the big companies to show off what's coming out, and also a chance for you to get together with, at least in Seattle, 64,000 friends that you never knew that you had. It's very, very common to sit in this show and just meet somebody while you're waiting in line for something, and they pull out their DS and you pull out your DS and you're playing Mario Kart together for a couple hours while you're waiting in line.
So many Street Passes, you won't know what to do with them.
If you're a Street Pass person, check that out. Shout out to the Street Pass peeps. Okay, so that's the basic idea. Interest of full disclosure, I suppose I could say that Alex and I are volunteers for the show. We are saying everything from our own, and we don't speak for the show. We don't speak for Penny Arcade. We don't speak for PAX. We're speaking just from our own experience, and we'll leave it at that. So with that, I think we should probably start with what the majority of the people go to PAX for, which would be the expo hall, and the video games that are in, and the treasures that are inside. So that said, I will leave it to you to start with. Is there one standout piece that you said, oh my goodness, this is the most amazing thing ever and I must have it?
I mean, I'm super excited about Master of Orion from Wargaming. Like, Master of Orion is one of those classic go back 4X kind of genre defining games. Okay. And it kind of died out. Like, the third game in the series back in the 90s was never any good, and so just recently Wargaming announced that they had picked up the rights and were making a new game, and I was super excited. I went by the booth. They didn't. They had a video demo, not a video demo, but like a video introduction with some of the content and how they're designing the ships and stuff like that. It was really cool. So I'm super excited about that. They posted like, oh, with the collector's edition, you get all 3 previous games and all this special content, all this thing, and I was just like, oh,
that is pretty rad. For me, was the same thing that excited me about E3, and that was Ubisoft's For Honor. Ever since I saw that trailer come out, I said this was the game that I've been waiting for since multiplayer online consoles was a turnabout. For those of you who don't know, Ubisoft is putting out this game, For Honor, and I would describe it, when I describe it to people, I describe it as third-person Call of Duty with swords combined with a MOBA or a massive or a multiplayer online battle arena type game. So like League of Legends or Smite or any number of flavors.
Yeah, somewhere like Sprite or
now. And the object of this particular game is you get to choose one of 3 factions. Either you are European Knights, or you are Vikings, or you are Samurai. And you go into these giant epic battles where you have minions that are running out, and it's just like the big Braveheart, everybody swinging swords at each other kind of fight, and you're swinging away at each other. And the whole idea is that you're trying to kill the opposition, just like you would, because you're trying to win the battle. And you're trying to control different points on the map. So as you're fighting and you're killing off minions from the other team's army, eventually you have enough morale to win the day, and their army retreats. And so now, once their army has retreated, the 5 players on the other side, who are these, like the warriors of their groups, the Bravehearts, if you will, are now vulnerable to being killed and not being able to respawn. So now you're hunting them down to kill them. However, they have the opportunity to rally and kill more of your minions or you or whatever. And then the battle switches back. And now here come all their minions again. So you can just continue to have this really
power
awesome
of desperation.
Right, totally, right? And then the other thing that I really like, that I'm excited about, is they really took map terrain into account with this game.
Interesting.
So, example, say I've killed off all your guys and I'm hunting you down.
Yep.
And me and my buddy,
like you do,
we corner you.
Uh-oh.
So you can run up a hill to this castle, into the hallway of the castle, which, if you're a history nerd, as I am, you know that castle walls were built specifically, hallways were built specifically so only one person could get up and down that hallway. So now me and my buddy have to fight you one-on-one. Like, I have to go in first, and I'd have to either kill you or push you back to a point where the room opens up again, so now we can get after you. But you can now safely go after us one-on-one. And maybe I have, the long, bastard sword or the big, claymore type sword, but you have, just a short sword. Now you can fully swing your sword, but I can't because these hallways are too narrow for me to swing my sword. So I've only got one attack for you. So tactically, it's really cool that you're able to really decide the battle. And if you're someone who's paying attention and you play the game smart, like, you don't necessarily have to be the fastest twitch type player like you do with Call of Duty, where like it's just a
kind of
headshot.
think ahead if I kind of
like, if you're playing smart and you're playing
kite them out over here,
totally,
and get them stuck in this thing,
or you could
cut them down.
Excuse me. Or you could totally bait them in, and maybe your guys are all hiding in that corner, and then you're running and they're chasing after you, and you get in, and now it's 3-on-2, or 4-on-2, or whatever the case may be. So that was really, really exciting. And there was a multitude of other games out there that were really, really cool. But I think the one thing that I like to point out more than anything about the Expo Hall is the Indie Mega Booth, which is in the back of the hall, which is a bunch of small independent studios. Most of the time they're students or people that are trying to break into the industry, and they just don't have, the bankrolls that these other places have. And the one that stood out to me back there, I cannot honestly for the life of me remember what it's called, but it was this game with the Oculus masks, and it was a bomb game. And so you put the Oculus mask on, and your buddy had the bomb diffusing manual next to you.
And you have to defuse the bomb?
How to defuse the bomb.
That sounds really cool.
So you're flipping through and you're like, do you see the red wire? And you're like, no, I don't see the red wire. So then you're trying to like move around so you can see the things.
Do you remember who the developer was?
I don't. I have their card somewhere in the apartment right now, but I don't know what it is. I feel really bad because it was really cool. But they had timed races on this, and one team had defused the bomb in like a minute, but then the rest of them were 3, 4, 5 minutes long, and anywhere in between. So that was really, really cool for me too. Anything else about the expo hall stand out to you?
Cooler Master had a really interesting booth this year where they were doing custom case mods and showing people how to do that. And I'm, kind of a hardware nerd for the PC side.
Right, I did see.
And it was really cool seeing a booth that wasn't just like, oh, come sign up for our thing and get a raffle ticket. Like,
they actually played to the home crowd very well there. They had an airbrush guy who airbrushed the Seahawks 12. Like they do the 12th man thing here in Seattle. Yeah. So the Seahawks 12 and then like a Seattle skyline with a Space Needle on it and whatnot onto the side of this case. And it had a fully working computer inside when they were finished. And then they raffled it off.
Nice.
So people in Seattle were going a little bit, crazy for that because this is completely custom designed case on the outside and a beautiful PC on the inside. They're doing other things too, like they were overclocking motherboards by pumping liquid nitrogen into it. I was going to say nitrous oxide, but that's not the same thing. It was going really, really fast.
Yes.
It went from 0 to 10.
Get the racing stripes.
It went from 0 to 60 in like 10 milliamps or something. I'm just making up things at this point. That was really kind of cool. It was a little scary for me too because I happened to be in that part of the hall when I was helping out.
At one point when I was walking by, they had like a stormtrooper helmet from the new Star Wars in there.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. That'd have been
like
kind of
it was
cool.
just like in the corner of the booth.
Oh, that's something we could bring up. The fact, nice little segue. So there's a new Star Wars game,
Uprising.
Star Wars Uprising, and the company who put that game out happened to have Billy D. Williams in booth for people to kind of meet.
The man himself.
That's right. Never forget.
Never forget.
Lando. You can never forget Lando. So that was kind of a cool thing that doesn't really happen in the expo hall much.
Yeah, that was kind of a first time like
a big, super, super big celebrity.
Yeah.
Although 2 years ago, the Ultimate Warrior was there because 2K booth had the WWE game, and they had the Ultimate. I think it was the Ultimate Warrior. Like he was there a couple of years ago. Unfortunately, he's passed away now. That's too sad.
So sad.
But he was there a couple of years ago. So they do have celebrities every once in a while. Wow, that was a perfect segue to the thing that I was going to bring up. So we've been going to PAX forever. So like we're now in 10 plus years at PAX, and I'm always interested to see how the floor changes. What is the driving force? And I've noticed within the last couple of years, specifically, Twitch has been. Shout out to Twitch. Hi Twitch. I'm on your network right now. Oh, that's my camera. Hi Twitch. I'm on your network right now.
Waving at the screen.
I'm waving at the screen. Hi. No, I'm totally right here. It's totally fine.
It's okay. I struck a pose in this direction earlier. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah, well, it's all right. Hey, I waved. I can see it on the delay right now. That's all right. But what I was going to say is that, Twitch has become a much bigger presence. And then at East this year, at PAX East this March, not only Twitch, but another company, Maker, was there. And now this is we're to Prime, 6 months later, and now YouTube has started up their gaming division. And now we had Twitch and Maker and YouTube there. And I had never, usually in the time that I've been volunteering and being a part of PAX, It's always been the AAA titles that have been the driving force. Like people waiting 4 or 5 hours to play.
Oh, back in 2011, remember Star Wars: The Old Republic?
Oh man,
that had a 7-hour. Like if you didn't get in that line in the first 10 minutes of Expo,
absolutely.
And it wasn't the same thing. I was still an attendee back then.
In 2010, they had a Duke Nukem booth. Was it 2010? Yeah, I think because I still was an attendee. So 2010.
No, it had to be after that because I think it was enforcing.
Maybe it was 11, and I was enforcing at that point.
Because they had the little jars of the steroids.
Yeah. So you walked in, and nobody knew what was inside.
They weren't real steroids. They were just mints in a jar that said steroids with a picture of Duke Nukem.
Oh, they were totally steroids. That's how I got all these. No, but... You know, people were clamoring to get inside to that thing, and then we found out, then the word got out that it was actually playable, the new Duke Nukem game, and people died. Like, I'm pretty sure people got trampled in there. Not
well, it was
really.
Like a surprise, right?
Yeah, nobody knew. Everybody
Duke
thought
Nukem
it was
forever, vaporware, suddenly realware.
Right. The game had been talked about for a decade.
Like
that it was going to
more
happen.
than 15 years. I remember it's like somebody had a receipt for pre-ordering Duke Nukem Forever from a Babbage's.
Yeah. Wow. Babbage's. Babbage's. Damn.
For those of you kids watching, go look up Babbage's and tell you how old we are.
We also swear we're old motherfuckers. That happened. No, so, it was always the big game. That was the thing. And specifically at East, was the first time that I really saw that the demographic of PAX was really changing.
Yeah.
So those of you who weren't at PAX East, Maker had a YouTube star Markiplier at their booth, and it was insane. It was like, for people who are super, super old, like our parents old, it was like Beatlemania. For our age, gosh, I don't...
I mean, a bunch of us were like, who is this guy?
I had no idea who he was.
I had to go look him up.
And then just hundreds and hundreds of, 10-year-old to 14-year-old boys and girls who were super fired up to see this guy. And we're just kind of shaking our heads like, what? And then the same thing with the Twitch, with the Twitch actual booth at PAX East. They had autograph signings from all these streamers, and at that point I was not a big Twitch person. Like, I've watched a little bit and I knew what Twitch was, but I wasn't invested into the whole idea.
Yeah, I mean, at that point the extent of my Twitch was like, for those of you who play EVE Online, the Alliance tournament, which is like a big in-game tournament, CCP does.
Right.
They broadcast that on Twitch.
So yeah, it was like, literally
beyond that, and like a few friends that I was checking out. Like,
it was literally a chance for me to see content from the big shows, and that's all I ever used it for, was to, watch E3 coverage that was sponsored by Twitch, or watch PAX coverage, or watch Gamescom, or whatever the case may be. That was the whole purpose for me for Twitch, up until East, and then. It just kind of opened my eyes to the fact that this is a cool thing, and this was was a phenomenon within the gaming community. Like, I'd always seen, people, collect the video from, they capture video from their game, and then they make a YouTube video and put that up. And I understood that because it's YouTube and whatnot, but I didn't understand the whole...
You can fix a lot of things in post.
Oh, totally, right? And I didn't understand the whole, let's sit here live while I'm talking, and interact with the people in the chat, and that was beyond me.
Well, I never considered the interaction level. Like, that was the thing for me. Like, I never really fully considered the interaction level. Like, I was just thought of, like, who would want to sit there and watch someone else play video games? Why don't you just
go
play video games, right?
Right. And then shortly thereafter, PAX, Ray Navarez from Rooster Teeth, the Achievement Hunter guys, announced that he was quitting Rooster Teeth to become a full-time streamer. And that is what he does now. And that's when I first started. I was like, what is this? That he's quitting this amazing job to go be a streamer?
Right.
So then I went and started checking out his channel, and I'm like, this guy's got 200,000 followers, and most of them obviously followed him over from his time at Rooster Teeth, because he's a funny guy and he's great with video games, and he's very entertaining, and I understand that, right? So then I started diving into that a little bit more, and I started looking at other video game players, and it just kind of became a thing. So then in March, wow, and we're getting way off of PAX here, but it'll all tie back in. It'll all tie back in.
The grand scheme.
The big grand scheme of things, right? So then May rolls around, and I had dabbled around with playing or streaming games on my Xbox One because it was built into my Xbox One.
Right.
And I did that for a little bit. And May rolls around, and Twitch helped St. Jude with Play Live. And
nice.
That was my big dive into streaming. And I streamed pretty regularly throughout May, thanks to amazing people who watched the stream and helped promote the stream. In the month of May, from I got started late, so May 10th through May 30th, the final total, or May 31st, the final total ended up being $3,000 in
nice.
20 days. And that is when I really started to realize the phenomenal power that is Twitch. Because all you need is, you're sitting here, I've got 2 cameras, I've got 2 microphones and I don't even need this type of setup. All I really need
we didn't really need the soundboard. It's just nice to have.
Yeah, these are all just extras that I've had from my podcasting. But if it's just me, I could totally just have just my microphone, just my webcam that's attached to my laptop, and I can sit here and talk.
You don't even need that. You could probably just done it with a mic in your iPad and just use the camera on your iPad.
Oh, totally could have. I'm not sure I could broadcast from that. That'd be interesting to find out, though. But Twitch is just... It's an amazing, amazing thing. And getting back into why we kind of got off on that plateau. So PAX has really changed, and we've both noticed this year that the majority of the attendees were in the part of the hall where all the live information, all the Twitch broadcasts, the YouTube gaming broadcast, the Maker broadcast, MSI, the esports stuff that was going on. That was where the majority of the people were.
The live content is really pulling people in. It's kind of interesting because they don't know that it's going to be good before the show. They just buy tickets.
So they come to the show, and there's all these other things going on. You can get in line and play Halo 5, or you could be playing
The Division,
which was
shout out to the people who waited in that line, because it was 3 hours. Yeah, it was mad respect.
3.5 hours to play The Division for 15 minutes or whatever.
No, it was a 20-minute. Was it 20-minute, half-hour demo? It was a long demo. That's why the line was long.
And they were all personally guided in by the people from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And so that was there. So they did all that, but then over in the other side of the hall, people were falling all over themselves to get up to the front so that they could see their favorite streamer talk for 10 minutes on a segment on the Twitch broadcast.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite side, they had autograph lines, and people were lined up around the booth to get autographs from kids, maybe 15, maybe not that old, they're a little bit older. So, young adults, 18 to 24, guys that just play video games, and girls that just play video games for a living. People were clamoring to get autographs from them.
It's cool that they can do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That the internet has become such a thing that someone 18 to 24 can go, I can be entertaining. I can do these video games. I'm going to go online and make people enjoy content.
Yeah, sure. And it's all about that connection, right? And that's what kind of excited me about getting into. That's why I started podcasting in the first place, because I had a voice, I had the ability to do so, and I wanted to say, I just wanted to connect and see if other people agree with what I have to say. So this weekend was all about Markiplier, and PewDiePie.
PewDiePie.
Those were the two big things in the hall, and it was fantastic. It was a good time. From a running the show perspective, it was probably one of the smoothest shows I've ever been a part of. I don't think I've really heard of any real major things happening.
Yeah.
There's going to be the little hiccups here and there, but it was a really smooth show for the most part.
But I mean, people were really nice for the most part, like, you know.
And that's what's different about PAX. If you've never gone to PAX, that's what's different. If you go to, San Diego Comic-Con, or you go to E3, or you go to Gamescom, or any of these other shows, they're giant, mega events, and people are always in a hurry, and they're doing whatever they can to get their experience, since they paid such a huge fee to be able to go to these things. And PAX is really like we said at the beginning, it's 64,000 of your best friends that you never knew.
Overwhelming percentage of just good people.
Absolutely. You'd be waiting in line for a couple of hours for Division and say, hey, I've got to go to the bathroom. You're like, no problem, I'll save your spot in line.
And I've seen people make great friends just sitting in line. Like people are like, oh, you're from here? I'm actually from there. Like, I grew up there. Like, we should,
And they never speak to each other until they get to PAX the next year, and then they make plans to meet each other at PAX again, and they experience PAX together with them. And I've always loved that about this show. Okay, I think we've probably talked a little bit enough about the expo hall. The other things that were super exciting for me, Acquisitions Incorporated was back.
Oh my god.
You actually got to go live and see them live. I ended up watching them on the Twitch stream because I ended up getting there late, and they
if you watched the Twitch stream and you heard the horn, that was me.
Yeah, Alex has this amazing horn that's probably 3 feet long.
Almost 3 feet long.
3 feet long.
30-something inches.
And then when we're closing down the hall for the day, he blows his horn, and everybody knows it's time to get out, which is kind of cool. So you went, first of all, to watch the panel, because have you ever missed that panel?
Not since I started going.
Okay. For that, number one. Number two, because of the Penny Arcade pin.
Well, there were a few ways to get the pin. Like,
sure.
was, you could get it from demoing at the Magic booth.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That pin was actually fairly easy to get.
Oh,
just the line at that booth was pretty long.
We'll get to Penny Arcade pins. That's a whole nother.
Don't get me started. That's its own. Subject. That we could do an entire video segment on pins.
We should. We'll do that. We'll absolutely do that. But Acquisitions Inc. is the creators of Penny Arcade. Like I said, Mike and Jerry, and their friend Scott Kurtz and Patrick.
Who
Rothfuss.
does the
he does PvP?
PvP online.
Correct. And fantasy author Patrick Rothfuss. Rothfuss. I can never say his name. So I apologize, Patrick, because I know you're watching this, because we're obviously important.
This might get to him.
Totally. It totally might.
Who you never know.
What ho?
What ho?
So they're playing D&D.
Watch out for the chandelier.
I have no chandeliers in my apartment. We're totally cool there. And they're playing D&D, and they don't just have any DM. They have the greatest DM in the history of DMs, which is Chris Perkins, who works for Wizards of the Coast. He is the head writer, developer for Dungeons and Dragons.
He's I saw him in the theater, and I was like, "You're the man," because I couldn't think of anything else. Because I was like,
truly is. If you haven't ever gotten the opportunity to watch them, or if you've ever kind of wanted to see what D&D is about, go to YouTube, search for Acquisitions Incorporated.
And it actually goes back. It originally started as a podcast.
Correct. So they did it as a podcast, and then they realized that people really dug listening to the podcast. So then they started doing it live in front of a bunch of people in a theater, which was even better, because then you had audience participation.
And it's become the biggest event at every PAX that they have it at.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is I don't know what to compare it to. It's the Super Bowl of the event.
Yeah. It's the thing that everyone wants to go to.
Like people are lining up a couple hours ahead of time to get in. It's in their main theater, so there's 3,000 seats or so, and it's completely gone immediately. And these guys got to play D&D, and they used to only play for like a couple hours.
It's like 2.5 hours still.
So this time around was 4 hours.
Was it?
Yeah, because it started at 7.
No, it didn't start till 8:30.
Okay, I'll trust you because you were there.
Yeah, it started at like 8. It was scheduled to start at 8:30, and I think it started a little late. And then it went until about, I want to say, 11-ish.
Dark Zora has entered into the chat. Hi, Dark Zora. Thanks for checking us out.
Welcome, Dark Zora.
Dark Zora 12. And they say gaming has evolved tremendously, and they find that amazing, and that Sony's already going to be coming out with a PS5 in 2020. That's news to me. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, I remember seeing that they announced their roadmap, like when they were releasing the...
I've never been a PlayStation fan.
Whose fault is that?
That's completely...
You're wearing Sony headphones.
No, it's completely their fault. Yeah. I like their headphones. I like their headphones. They work really nice for me, but their controllers don't fit right in my hands, and I feel kind of
No, I bought the 20th anniversary PlayStation 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was like one of the lucky few.
I might end up buying a PlayStation only because I have a little incentive to do so with my workplace now.
Or they're gonna have that new Darth Vader version.
All right, I might pick up a PS4 just to have the Darth Vader version.
I mean, I would get that if I didn't already have the 20th anniversary one, which was I grew up playing on a PS1, and like that was just the amount of nostalgia packed into that small white box was overwhelming.
Wow. Oh, that's another topic for another day. So where were we? We were talking about ACK Inc.
ACK Inc.
Okay, so we had the D&D panel, and I did not get in, so I grabbed up the people that were with me that we were trying to sneak in with, and we motored back here to my place and ordered Chinese food and had a couple cocktails and watched it on Twitch. So thank you very much, Twitch, for broadcasting that so we could watch the... one of my favorite things in all of PAX, which is to watch them play D&D.
No, if you're a PAX goer, Dark Zora, you should go check it out.
Yes, if you haven't, you should. And if you haven't checked out PAX and you're a video game person, you should. Absolutely.
If you get the chance.
Go to the PAX nearest you. You'll like it. I promise.
I hope they get Acquisitions Inc. going in San Antonio, because
I will semi-guarantee.
The venue in South is just so cool.
At San Antonio? Let's talk about that. So we have I have a PS4. It's like so high tech, guys. It is like so high tech. I'm hoping that they end up doing ACK Inc. at every single Penny Arcade or every single PAX.
I mean, it's like it's a content generation thing for Chris Perkins, right? Like him and his team like go through a lot of effort to make the models and the.
But it's good timing, right? So you have PAX Prime in August, September, and then a couple months later you've got PAX Australia at the end of October, November. And then PAX South in end of January. Now there's your kicker, because they want to
normally, so this year was kind of weird, right? Because East was the earliest it's ever been.
That's true, and it
was the beginning of March.
It's supposed to be going back.
It's going to be going back to like mid-April. I don't know.
I think so, because that's what it used to be.
There's no date announced yet, but I'm guessing it's going back to whatever date in April they managed to get.
2 years ago it was during Easter, because they called it PAX Easter as opposed to PAX East.
But this year is like, because even the last time it was in March, it was the end of March.
Okay.
And so, it was still snowing when we were there. This year.
It was very, very cold.
It was like 12 degrees.
I nearly froze things off walking in my kilt.
Yeah, man.
That was bad news bears right
or
there.
Walking down to Legal Seafood.
Yeah, legal Texas kitchen.
Well, Legal Seafood's a little bit farther.
Okay, I don't think I ever did that. But
it's like across the street from the test kitchen.
Okay, perfect. So if you're in Boston, shout out to Legal Fish Fry, Fish Head, something or another. Yeah. Shout out to those guys. So
we're getting distracted.
No, we totally are, because I have a belly and I like food.
I love food.
We love food so much. We went out eating today. Let's not talk about food because we'll get totally distracted. All right, so
back to San Antonio.
That's coming up here at the end of January.
Yeah.
Last year was the first PAX South, and it was mostly indie developers.
It was mostly indie. It was really, really cool.
So it's a little bit smaller show.
I think we had 4 large booths, I want to say. And
so
one of them was Twitch.
One of them was Twitch. Was
there like Twitch, Graybox, Intel? Okay. I don't remember what the 4th was.
Intel was giving out their pins for free gear.
Well, Intel had the Oculus setups.
Oh,
so
nice.
You could play like Eve Valkyrie.
Oh, nice. Oculus is a really, really cool thing. Not to completely go off of PAX again, because that's what apparently we're doing here, is going off a subject. But I got my first opportunity. I never had used it, and I still haven't used it since. In right around December-ish, I was over at the EMP here in Seattle, the Experience Music Project, which also has the Sci-Fi Hall of Fame in it.
Planning to go check that out while I'm here.
It's very, very cool. You can see Captain Kirk's chair, and it's covered in tribbles, I believe.
Did they let you sit in it?
No, it's behind glass, sadly.
Oh, man.
Right? That's what I said. I did bring my glass cutters, though, but don't tell anyone. I totally got in there and, kirked out on it.
Maybe I'll just tweet Shatner and be like, hey.
Listen, Shatner, you let me in.
Can you tell them to let me sit in that chair?
Let me in, or I'm going to Shatner right here. I'm going to drop trow and Shatner his place.
I will do your butt groove honor.
Oh, man. That leathery old ass on that leathery old seat. And then there's also Shatner. So I was at the EMP, and they had the Experience Game of Thrones experience. And it was, you walk into this room, and it had a bunch of cages up against the wall. And the cages were basically the elevator that would lift you at Castle Black from the bottom all the way up to the top of the wall.
Interesting.
So you put the glasses on, you got inside, and they closed the door, and it starts to rise.
Like chung, 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 chung,
yep,
chung, chung.
Totally. And you're looking around, and you turn behind you, and all you're seeing is the glass, the ice of the wall. And then you turn back, and you can look over Castle Black as you're rising up. And as you're rising, all of a sudden, you feel air blowing up on you. And
so they had the full experience.
Totally full experience. And it takes a couple of minutes to get you all the way up to the top. And then you hear the doors behind you open up, and then you turn around. And then all you see is the ice hallways, or the ramparts, if you will, of the wall. And you're walking out, and you get there, and you hear a noise behind you, and you turn around, and there's a traitor in Castle Black. And you get shot with arrows. And you fall back, and you're falling down.
Like off the wall?
Off the wall. And then the camera turns, and all you see is you falling down, and your arms flailing like this, and wind blowing at you like crazy. And then you hit the ground, and everything's black. And it takes a second, and you take your headphones off, and you're like, where am I? Am I here? Am I alive? And you start checking things out. No wounds. But it was a really cool experience. I think Oculus has, maybe not just as the visual, but I think once they figure out how to incorporate the physical sensations with it, now you're on to something, right? The things that they had at PAX this year that I thought was kind of neat, they had a couple of different booths. Obviously, Oculus had their own booth.
Which was like...
the most professionally...
They've got that Facebook money now.
No need to trash anybody else, but I will say that they were the most self-contained, completely self-operated booth I think I've ever seen. It was a giant booth. It was completely enclosed, but there was glass, so you could look in and see people experiencing the Oculus for themselves. But they were completely
and it was a giant only. Black box, like.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't appointment only.
Oh, I thought it was.
They had 2 lines, so a bunch of people could make appointments before.
So they basically split the booth?
And then they had a will call. Yeah, so they had 2 sides of the booth.
Interesting.
So they had the huge. I think it was it a 20 by 40?
It was a giant booth. Like it was the size of 2 normal booths.
Because it was
huge. It may have been. I think probably only Microsoft had a booth that was probably that's it. Microsoft and Ubisoft.
Yeah.
They were the only ones that had booths that size.
And and Sony's, or Sony maybe.
Wargaming. Wargaming had a giant booth too. You've seen most streamers go pro on here, like Jeff. Who's Jeff? Tell me who Jeff is. I'm definitely not a professional at streaming. This is your first stream.
This is my first stream,
and I play video games every once in a while. And as you can see,
I'm hoping to start streaming.
I'm raking in the money. Like, I'm completely filthy rich, as you can tell. No, this is just for fun. But this is just kind of a new experience to try. As far as using the stream for something other than just playing video games, because there's plenty of people play video games out there, and I think that given my work experience and my nerdling experience, it's a nice blend of kind of speaking from an educated, but at the same time still outside looking in. For those of you who don't know, Jeff from Achievement Hunter, Jeff Ramsey. Yes. Okay, gotcha. So I work in the video game industry. I'm a QA test. Alex works in software. Yes, software. Yes.
I work on the internet.
Yeah, he works on the internet. I play on the internet when I'm supposed to be working. I mean, no, I totally do my job. I totally do my job. And I totally do my job. And I know you do yours too. But
No, I mean, the company I work for is the internet.
Oh, you work for the actual internet?
Kind of.
Interesting. What is the gods of the internet like? Have you met them? Or are you not that high up? I'm
not that high up, but so it's kind of weird.
You get to talk to the acolytes of the internet?
Kind of. It's weird being on the infrastructure side of things in a kind of unofficial capacity. Well, official but unofficial.
We should hit that at another point in time. That'd be kind of fun. No, but the whole idea for the podcast, and you've never listened to the show before, but at least I don't think you have. Maybe you listened last year when we had the post-PAX talk last year.
I listened to it once, I think.
But the whole idea is that the kingdom... I look at nerd culture from a very nerdy perspective as a kingdom, right? And each kingdom has different... Every kingdom has different regions in their kingdom that is known for specific things. So if you're looking at it from a medieval perspective, right, or you're looking at England, right, Manchester is the industrial part, and then there was a part that was very much the farming and things like that, and so on and so forth. So every region has their thing,
right? And then you have some parts that aren't really kingdoms; they're more like city-states, because some of them are led by loud voices, but some of them are led by a community,
right? So my thought process is that being nerds, we've all, especially those of us who grew up nerdy. Some people find their nerd later in life, and then there's those of us.
And that's perfectly okay.
I do believe that's T. Hi, T. Thanks for coming to check out the stream.
We missed you, T.
You don't know T, I don't think. Not PAX T. This is my friend T.
Oh. My bad.
That's okay. But you can miss her. She's a very nice girl. But so, as nerds growing up, we liked our thing and we held on to it, and we were very protective of it, so that if you got to, say I was a big Star Wars fan growing up. There were plenty of kids who made fun of me for liking Star Wars, but I was very protective of it.
So right, but I mean, you were either protective or you had to hide it, right?
Right, one of the two.
Yeah.
But on top of that, there are... She's saying, ha ha ha, nice girl, quote unquote. What does that mean? You're rude. You're rude. You're a rude girl. That's what I'm going to say now, rude girl.
Maybe she wants to be like, you're a bad girl.
No. She's gonna get married soon, or if she's not, she's gonna get married soon. Yes.
Soon?
I think soon. Not married yet, so there's a chance. Very small one. Very very small.
Don't say things like that, man.
Like the very small.
Don't say things like that.
You're saying there's a chance. No, there's no chance.
Let her be happy.
Yeah, I'm very happy for T. She's a very sweet girl. The reason... So, let me... Before we... Because she's here. I'm going to tell you how I met T. So, Xbox Live. We're playing video games with my buddies. We're playing Call of Duty. And this girl is playing... Just destroying these dudes. Like amazingly good player. Right? And we'd get back into party, or we'd get back into the lobby at the end of the game, and she'd be at the top, and they'd be like, you know how Call of Duty is, like the other side, if they lose, they're all like, you're a fucking cheater, you're whatever the case may be, and she would talk back to them, and they'd get pissed because she was a girl, and then at that point, they'd be like, clearly you're fat, and you live in your parents' basement, and blah, 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 blahs. And she would eviscerate these guys. Like, as much as you could via Xbox Live, like, balls cut, down on the ground, tap dancing. That is awesome. Tap dancing.
I love that.
Amazing, amazing, amazing girl. And we used to play specifically to watch her destroy these
tears.
Assholes.
They're so sweet.
Oh, they're so tasty.
Those
very,
bigotry,
very, very
misogyny tears. Oh, they're so delicious.
So good. And they're like, clearly you're fat. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm 110 pounds. And I'm like, blah, 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 blahs. And like everything they'd say, she'd be like, nope, that's not the case. Fuck you. Have fun jerking off tonight, or whatever the case may be. So that's T, and that's why I love her, and that's why she'll always have a big place in my heart. Now, back to the reason for the podcast. So the podcast is all about the fact that, say you're into Pokemon. You are. I'm not into Pokemon.
I once was.
And it's not something I know anything about. And say it looks interesting to me, but because I'm so used to being, rejected as a kid, right? It's not something that I kind of go into because I'm worried about, first of all, I know how I am with my nerdy things.
Right.
And going into a group of people who already know this thing and they love this thing, are they going to think I'm stupid for not understanding everything they have? Or are they not going to be nice to me because I'm new coming into that, right? And there is
some of that, right?
Absolutely.
Like, how do you not know this nerdy thing? And everyone should know this nerdy thing.
For me,
I'm certainly guilty of that sometimes.
Absolutely. We all are. For me, I got the epiphany actually at PAX. And when the brony movement kind of got really big. It was always around when the new My Little Pony stuff came out. And I was walking by a line of people. At this time, I was working in line management, so I was just fixed a line of people, and I was heading back and walking by, talking with some attendees that were in a line. I'm like, hey, yeah, fist bumps, fist bumps, fist bumps. This kid stopped me. He goes, excuse me? They're hooves? And I just kind of turned, and I looked at him. I said, excuse me? Yeah, they're hooves. They're hooves, bro. They're hooves. They're not fist bumps. They're hooves. And I just shook my head, and I went on. And I completely wrote off anybody who told me they were a brony as somebody who, they're not somebody I want to know. I don't want to know anything about them. Clearly, that says a lot about them, and they're not my type of person. And I started thinking about it, and I realized, who am I to tell that person that the thing that they like isn't valid?
I mean, there are a number of nerdy subcultures
for anything
that have that problem.
Doctor Who.
Well, no, I mean the ones that have generally negative stigmas in the major populace.
Sure.
Like, I don't want to name them because I don't necessarily agree with the negative stigmas, but
okay, sure.
Yeah.
But so the thought process was, when I originally started, would be every week, every episode, we would talk about a specific topic, and and most of them were things that I didn't know much about.
Right.
and I would find somebody to sit on the other side of the table, and I'd say, okay, I want to know about
Pokemon.
What are the basics that I need to know so that I can get my feet wet? Like, where do I start?
Crash course in blah.
Boom, go. And then ask those questions. And then part of it also was the social interaction where I'd say, okay, well, you, the listeners, if this is something, this is your chance. What do you want to know about X subject?
Right.
That I can ask this expert
do
so
like
that
a
you can get your answer
live
for.
Q&A.
Right, exactly. Perfect. So that is the premise of the show, and obviously that's changed a little bit in the last few episodes because I originally started the podcast, called it 15 Minutes of Lame, because I only wanted it to be about 15 to 20 minutes long. And obviously now that hasn't happened with this.
Like,
you and I have
we're just chatting, and it's probably been, what, almost an hour?
An hour and 5 minutes is
Jesus.
how long we've been online right now. But
doesn't feel like an hour.
No, but I mean, you know, we've been talking specifically about the show for probably about 45 minutes. We, you know, fucked around for 15 minutes trying to make sure that the links were working.
Did the microphone work? Hello?
Hello out there.
Are you in there? Oh, the camera is over there.
Yeah, totally. Oh, man, that is a pretty looking camera. I got a brand new camera here. Let me show you the camera. We'll see if that works. It's going to take a second for it to show up on the mic. So then I can confirm that it was on there. That's Mobius.
I already have one camera on me,
That's
dude.
camera. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. There it is, right there. Beautiful, beautiful camera. Just got that. That's my high definition camera.
We could get more cameras and I could do the Colbert thing.
You totally could. Totally could. We'll get that eventually. We're not there yet. But, so the thought process was that. So now I've kind of changed things a little bit, and 3 episodes a month, I will do that 15 minutes. And the current way that I'm going to do it is 5 minutes on a subject, change, 5 minutes on a subject, and then 5 minutes at the end, 5 to however.
Well, do you mind brainstorming that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Now? Yeah.
Like, do you think 5 minutes is enough?
It was mostly just touch-based things, like they're quick hit type show.
Right, but I mean, like
it's not
like
the same.
Most people are gonna have the quick pick type stuff, right? They're gonna want to know.
So not the in-depth. Let's learn about a thing. It's hey, these are the video games I'm playing. This is why I like it. I think you should check that out. Here's the movies
I thought you meant a deep dive, not on the person, but on like a specific genre. Like,
right,
bring someone in. Like, this is what Pokemon is all about.
Right,
and I would say that takes at least half an hour.
That's still the plan. However, I want to do that.
Oh, the long shows.
The long show.
Okay, you're talking about the short shows.
Right.
See, I was confused.
The short show is hey, here's the just whatever I want to talk about, right?
Yeah, no, that makes now I'm like
totally. And then the last segment is what I
wind
call
me up.
Get the hot takes. So I put out on the Twitter feed, and you can follow me at Danicus523, or the podcast show, which is at 15MofL, so 15 minutes of lame. And then I say, what are your hot takes? What do you want my, just a couple second blurb about whatever topic, or what do you want to hear? And with the promise that if I don't know anything about it, I will totally bullshit an answer. And so that's been kind of fun for the last couple of episodes. Do
you get lifelines? Can you like phone a friend?
No. Like it's completely.
I don't know shit about this topic, and like I get 3 lifelines a month. Let me call somebody.
And people would completely throw in ridiculously funny things just to hear me talk about, like compare and contrast the rise of the military-industrial complex and how it was affected by Battletoads level 3. And I'm like, Kermit the Frog, Hitler, or something, blah, blah, blah. Done. There, good. Got it. I totally got it. Not anywhere near close to that, but that was kind of the idea.
No, I'm just trying to imagine Kermit the Frog as a Battletoad. It's just not. He just doesn't have the upper body physique.
He doesn't, but he can really whip those arms because he can totally flail his arms, and that's how he kills the pigs. right? But I think where he, oh man, he's killing the pigs, Miss Piggy. Maybe the pigs.
Didn't they just break up after like 50 years?
They did just break up, and that's bullshit.
Yeah, what the hell?
That is bullshit.
Those two were made for each other. Literally, they're puppets.
They were made to entertain children, Alex. But for those of us,
but now I'm grown up, and I still want them to entertain me.
You just want to see some frog on pig action, don't you?
No, I just want them to be happy.
Maybe they're happier apart. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know what happened behind closed doors. You don't. Conspiracy confirmed. Kermit equals Hitler.
That's why she left him.
Yes, totally. She was like, I cannot handle you killing all these pigs for bacon. Or something. I don't know. We're getting
this is getting a little serious, yeah.
We are. We are at 12:45 in the AM on Friday, September 4th, 2015.
The Think Geek. Okay, so pardon my nerding out for a minute. So this morning at 12:01, supposedly Think Geek launched a bunch of new Star Wars stuff.
Oh, shit.
So I'm going to be browsing that real quick.
He's going to do a little browsy browse, and I'm going to vamp. I'm vamping. Those of you who are watching, I would like to know what...
Oh, they have the BB-8 Sphero.
Oh, yes. So I saw some people...
already sold out.
I saw some people already playing with them. Like, they did video. Ben Katura had one, and he whipped it out and was rolling it around on the ground, and his 7-year-old daughter came in and freaked, according to what he was tweeting about.
I mean, that little robot is going to be the new, like, R2-D2 better watch his back, because the cuteness is in danger.
R2 about to get jacked.
Yeah.
He's about to get jacked by that little yellow ball thing. I remember when, Comic-Con last year? Was it last year that they did the first trailer? Was it this year? Or San Diego Comic-Con?
No, it was before Comic-Con. Where was it? The first trailer launched...
Do we like to play fighting games like Tekken? That's the question.
I used to.
I don't mind playing them. I'm not any good at them.
That's the problem. Like, I always feel like I'm horrible at them.
I'm the button masher. I'm the one that goes, oh, wow, I totally took me off camera. That was really nice because I was leaning in and junk. I better have to put my glasses on so I can read, but at the same time, they can't fog up. So I am the button masher, right? Like, I'm the one who just goes, da, 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 right. And somehow I do things, and I know how to, whoa, camera down, camera down.
Run it behind the, hold on, let me fix it.
He's totally fixing the camera right now because I'm an idiot.
There you go.
Totally an idiot. That'll work.
Is that not?
Well, maybe. Hold on. Let's go to the live feed. Oh, we're good. We're totally good. Awesome. We're excellent. Moise is in the dark.
Am I in the dark?
You're not, but I mean you've got bright light behind you. So
should I create some ambient lighting?
You're gonna totally turn the light on you. Ah, there he is, kids. There he is, ladies. Get him while he's hot.
I hope that lasts a while.
Well, you got at least one more year. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Dark Zora. Like I said, I'm going to try at least once a week to do this. I'm not entirely sure that I can babble on about video games more than once a week. But I do want to...
Depends on if you have time, right?
We'll see. Yeah. So life gets in the way. Other passions.
You don't want to
get in the
beat
way,
it to
whatnot.
death. Like, no. You got to have content.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea is that hopefully once a week.
You're fogging up already.
Ames Games 95 says Alex is hot. Winky face. You got a winky face. Yeah. How you doing? It's got to be the beard. He does have a pretty magnificent beard. I don't have that magnificent beard.
You'll get there.
It'll come. It's coming. See, the problem is because, I'm an old man, at the ripe old age of 36. I've got a lot of gray hair right here.
I mean, like, gray hair, like, varies, man. Like, I've seen people, like, in their 20s who start graying out.
But here's the problem, is that my gray hairs in my beard grow out. She said it's that beard. Yeah, totally. It is a pretty incredible beard. You should see him when he's got his helmet on. He's got a Viking helmet with horns that go out to here like this. And he's got this giant, like, actual horn that you blow into.
If I video in remotely, I'll wear it next time.
Excellent. Excellent. If you video in remotely,
that's I don't have a webcam right now, so
that's totally going to happen.
I got to get some gear and set up.
It's totally going to happen. Totally going to happen. We're going to make this happen. Because you're fun to talk to. And clearly, you're the good-looking one. You're going to be the good-looking one. I'm going to be the mildly attractive but still kind of funny one. That's the plan. You don't get to be the funny one, though. You need to be the straight man.
You're the wily host.
I'm the wily, crazy host. She's fanning herself right now. Because, no, but I don't know where we were. I'm just lost in your beard. Oh, so my beard. The problem that I have with my beard is that my gray hairs grow faster than the rest of my beard, and they go all crazy. So now I look like I've got like Cthulhu.
Like, I mean, don't get upset.
Blah blah blah.
But they make stuff for that. Like, you could Rogaine your beard.
I don't think that would help, though, right? Because there's still the gray hairs.
No, like, it's a dye.
This is... Oh, no, I don't need to color... It's not... So the problem isn't that it's gray. I don't mind the gray. I, in fact, like the gray. But
if they're all the same color, then it's not as obvious that those hairs are longer. They just look like part of your beard. Then it won't matter.
You are the smart one, too. Well, you can't be the good-looking one and the smart one.
I'm sorry.
You have to be the Daphne. I'm the Velma. Or, wait, do we want to be the Daphne and Velma?
I always thought Velma was the hot one and the smart one.
Rygar 610 says, gray is distinguished and embrace it. Oh, I do. Look at that beautiful gray beard right there. It's really, really pretty. I like it. I like it a lot.
He is very distinguished.
I'm very distinguished with my zombie shirt.
He's a gentleman and a scholar.
Don't be talking shit about me. That's awful of you. Don't ever say that about me again. We're kind of just coasting along here. So let's go back to the question.
Oh, we had a question?
Which was, do we play fighting games like Tekken? And we kind of glanced over it a little bit, Dark Zora. We do, or at least I do play video. I play them as much as I possibly can. I haven't played in a long while. I've been meaning to pick up Mortal Kombat just because I want to throw a punch and watch a guy's kidney explode on the inside.
I used to play a lot of fighting games when I was younger. I think after I kind of phased out of console gaming and moved mostly to PC gaming when I moved into college, that it kind of fell out of favor for me.
Somebody's trying to be funny. I thought I was the gayest person on earth, but then I met these two clowns. Dude, if I was gay... No, sorry. Anybody named the Put Up? Nope, that ain't working. Sorry, buddy. I don't put up with that nonsense. We're gonna fix that real quick, like. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. I don't think making jokes about anything like that is cool in the slightest. So, sorry, buddy. You can go away. Aw, you totally got banned. You must be sad about that. Totally sad. And I'm really heartbroken that they're gone. I do not have any tolerance for anybody who makes fun of someone's sexuality or the way they look or anything like that. If you're going to be that way, I don't need you here. You can fuck right off. So that's what's happening there. So please enjoy your ban.
Yeah, if you need to denigrate someone else like that, you can address your own self-esteem issues.
Yep, that's definitely not what we do here on this podcast. So please feel free to go. And that's all I have to say is about that.
I'm sorry that you weren't loved more as a child.
Oh, regardless of whether he was loved or not, he's probably loved plenty now. But we don't have any time for that.
Yeah.
So it's whatever. You don't have to like me. You can feel free to click that little button over there. I'm not gonna feel bad. Alex isn't gonna feel bad. The chat's not gonna feel bad. feel free to fuck right off. We all got that? Cool. All right. Oh, yeah. So I say something bad to myself and then say sorry. You should check out Mortal Kombat 10 then, and you can play as Jason from Friday the 13th, and Reptile looks awesome.
Speaking of fighting games, I'm going to plug this. Brawlhalla is like a Super Smash Brothers style indie game.
Was that the thing that was in the back of the Indie Mega Booth?
No. It was on the 6th floor in the back.
Okay.
But it was totally like an indie. It's coming out. It's called Brawlhalla.
Brawlhalla.
And it was super awesome. Like, it was like Smash Brothers,
Wait,
but
were
on...
they at East this year?
I don't know.
There was a really small booth at East this year that had something like that, and it was kind of really super cutesy, kind of...
Yeah, it's a very cartoon style art.
It might have been that, but I'm not entirely sure of the name there.
But it's like a Smash style on a PC, which is most of the gaming I do right now. I don't really have a setup for a console right now.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see.
But yeah, I miss fighting games. I mean, I played fighting games back to the 3DO. I had a 3DO.
Here's a fun. Go ahead. You go.
And I played.
I'll tell you my story.
It was like Super Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. It was like Champion Alpha Edition, like the longest Street Fighter name ever.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be longer there. Am I excited about Battlefront? Yes, I'm very excited about Battlefront. Full disclaimer before I start talking about Battlefront, I do happen to be employed by the company who's putting that game out. So I'm not speaking for them. I'm speaking only for me as a Star Wars fan and as someone who has seen all the content that's been out. It's a completely different, separated from what I do. Doesn't help. I mean, it's cool that it happens. I don't actually use Steam. Ames Games, do you use Steam?
Oh, yeah.
They are asking for our Steam usernames, and if you feel like giving that out, you can definitely do so. I don't use Steam.
I actually don't play much on Steam right now. I've been playing a lot of Blizzard games lately. I have an account,
but I don't play on PC. I need to get a new PC before I can start playing PC games again. I am a console. I'm a console player.
Yeah.
So I play Xbox One. I play a little bit old school. I've got my N64 hooked up right now. I've got my Dreamcast that I play every once in a while, but mostly I play on my Xbox One.
Yeah.
Tune says. I'm gonna go. Tune says. I'm hoping that's right. I work for EA, but I live in Seattle. I work.
Wait, what did they say?
He said you work for ?
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be a Disney Infinity Star Wars edition. I
believe
it's
coming out soon, isn't it?
Yes. I don't know if there's...
They're ramping up a bunch of the Star Wars stuff right now because they're trying to get the story to fit in with the movie release. And now that Disney controls all the rights, they're doing that whole...
Try and make all the money off of...
Because Battlefront is actually going to have a story arc that leads into the movie that's releasing like a week before. Like they're going to have a DLC that leads into the movie.
I'm down for that.
That comes out a week before the movie.
I am down for that. I cannot wait. I've been wanting to... Cool. It's Tuned Says. Perfect. Got it. I told you I'd get it. What were we? Oh, really quickly about fighting games. It's a fun story that I think you'll enjoy. Right when the 360, right when Xbox Live started going on, I had bought a copy of Capcom vs. SNK 2. Those of you guys who are not fighting game fans, it was basically all the Capcom game, big characters, and SNK, which was another fighting game company that put out Fatal Fury, I believe? ? I don't remember. And they would... I'm actually at work right now, and we have a huge Star Wars release tonight.
For where do you work, if you don't mind us asking?
Ames Games. Where do you work, if you don't mind telling the chat and us? And while you're doing that, I will continue on with my story. So, we had the game, and I'm playing it versus the computer because I'm not very good at these games. My roommate at the time... I shouldn't be reading the chat at the same time because it's going to ruin this story. My roommate at the time, really, really good fighting game guy. Like, really, really good. He didn't make a whole lot of cash, so he didn't have an Xbox. and he didn't have an Xbox Live account. And he's like, would you mind if I would go online and play on your account and play people online? And I said, of course, I don't care. Go ahead, because I'm never going to play it online.
Right.
I don't want to get... I mean, I maybe had done it once or twice or whatever. In that particular game, you could pick different grooves.
Right.
So there would be like C groove, which is like just supers, like how you use your supers. And my roommate always used P groove, which was parry groove. So basically, anytime you would attack me, if I pressed forward at the right time, it would completely negate your attack, right? And he got so good at that game that even online, with the original Xbox 360, lag and all, he would parry through people's supers and then kill them. And so I'm sitting here trying to learn about the game. So there's the forums, Shoryuken, right? Where you would go, and it had like the catalog of all the different fighting games and like the guides on how to play all the different characters in these games and strategies and so forth.
Right.
And you get into this online thread, and all you saw was my gamertag. And at that time, it was Spoony Love from Crank Yankers, the puppet prank show. It was Spoony Love Minnesota, MN. And people used to make fun of it because they'd be like, Spoony loves men, ha 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 ha, and I'd be like, you know, same thing. But so he would just destroy people online all the time. And I finally go in and I'm reading through these and I'm like, oh, let's just go see. And they're like, I hate Spoony. He's such a fucking asshole. I hate him. Blah, 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 blah. And then I'd go online and I'd play. And I would get destroyed because I'm not good, right? So then there'd be other people that would go through. I played him yesterday and I like beat him like 7 games in a row. Like, what are you talking about? And then it would switch back, and then like he would rail through people again, and then it was back and forth, back and forth.
Spoony Love has multiple personalities.
Yeah, totally. It's just whether he's drunk Spoony, or maybe he's sober Spoony, or maybe he's really angrily and sexually frustrated Spoony.
Drunken Master
He's just taking
Spoony
everything
Love.
out, right? Drunken Master. Spoony Love, Drunken Master. Man, I should totally go and do that. I should change my name back to Spoony Love. No, I won't do that. Okay, let's read through some of this chat. Yeah. People are actually getting kind of... let's see. We asked Ames what he or she... I'm going to assume Ames. I would say that's Amy, maybe? Maybe. Doesn't matter. He or she just works at a comic book video game shop in Indiana, and they have to come in super early because they're going to have Star Wars memorabilia out.
Well, they're resetting. Cool. Oh, that's the other thing that's happening. They're resetting the expanded. They're just starting the release of the new expanded universe.
Oh, right, because all the expanded universe that was out there.
Yeah, it got all bumped to Legacy, so the content still exists in the Legacy timeline, but the new movies is completely resetting.
It's not canon anymore.
Yeah, everything that happened after. Although I had a debate with someone about whether Shadows of the Empire counted, but that's a separate Star Wars nerd discussion.
So there's that, right? Shadows of the Empire, which was a fantastic book. And you've never read Shadows of the Empire? Yeah, see, it's totally Amy. Haha, I told you. Amy thinks you're cute.
I didn't disagree.
Amy thinks you're cute.
Thank you, Amy.
No, but so there's that, first of all. Second of all, I always knew that eventually we'd get an episode 7, 8, and 9. And for me, I always felt that the Admiral Thrawn series by Timothy Zahn should have been episodes 7, 8, and 9. And have you read that Admiral Thrawn series? So
I'm a huge Star Wars expanded universe nerd, which makes this whole reset thing really depressing for me because now I have to catch up again.
Well, it's just like comic books, right? It's like Superman's dead. Nope,
yeah,
he's
but
totally alive.
It was nice having a static canon that I didn't have to worry about that. But now it's just all like, oh, sidebar.
Gotcha.
No, my favorite was actually the X-Wing series.
Okay, like
Michael
the
Stackpole, Aaron
the
Alston.
Rogue Squadron stuff?
Yeah, the Rogue Squadron stuff. Actually, when they announced standalone movie, Rogue One, I thought they were going to do the Rogue Squadron. They announced another movie. The first standalone movie is going to be called Rogue One.
That was the first one, or I thought Boba Fett was supposed to be the first one?
The first one they announced is Rogue One. I think that's going to be the first one coming out because it's coming out like maybe next year or the year after that. Like it's going to be really soon. And I thought like Rogue One naturally Wedge Antilles, the greatest, starfighter pilot to have ever lived, and they would just make a movie about him and the X-Wing series.
Oh, Wedge. Oh, Wedge.
I hope he sticks around.
Me too.
I hope that character still exists.
He should exist.
It was nice having a hero that wasn't a Jedi.
I need a hero. So Alex's shirt has the PAX Prime 2014 10-year anniversary logo on it.
Is that showing up in the camera?
Let me double check. It totally is. Perfect. And you've got this menacing look on your face. Because there's shadows like on your eyes and stuff. No, see, he's totally happy. It's totally fine. He's a good, happy person. So that's what that is. We're good on that. No, but I always thought that the Thrawn series should be the series that they should turn into the movies. The only thing I didn't like about the Thrawn series was that they brought in those creatures.
The Yuuzhan Vong?
I don't know how to pronounce them. The ones that were forced, they pushed the Force out.
Oh, the tree worms.
Yellamari or something like that.
I remember what you're talking about. They're the little. They were like sloths that they kept in a cage that nullified the Force in the area around them.
Right. So Thrawn, if you guys have heard, Disneyland wants to open up a Star Wars land at their theme park. Hell yes. Yeah. I'm super excited for that.
I think they were like adding. I read about they're adding like 15 square miles to each park.
So, yeah.
It's not even replacing anything. They're adding
to it.
Star Wars land to the parks.
Oh, and they might get rid of Mickey's Toontown? That'd
be
kind of sad. Mickey's Toontown's awesome.
Mickey's Toontown is really cool. You can go back and do
the Roger Rabbit ride?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toontown is, I mean, like, as you get older, it's kind of less exciting to go back to, but, like, when I go there and I see kids there, like, the joy is real.
See, you're saying that from a resident perspective, right? How many times a year do you go to Disneyland?
Once, maybe. I live in Northern California, not Southern California.
Okay, but I mean, you can still. It's 5 hours away.
It's like a 5-hour drive.
See, it's 18 hours away from me. I'd have to fly there if I wanted to make it quick.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they'll teach the stormtroopers to shoot and actually hit something. Rude. You know what would be the greatest?
Stormtroopers are the best drivers. They never hit anything. I love the internet. Thank you, internet, for that joke.
You know what would be like the greatest battle ever? Would be Stormtroopers versus Cobra. Because they both would shoot over each other's head, and you just see a bunch of red lasers everywhere. Or wait, did Cobra have the red lasers, or did they have the blue lasers? Internet? I'm waiting.
Cobra had to have the red lasers. Bad guys are always red, right? Bad guys.
I don't. Yeah, because red.
Or did they have? Was it green and blue?
It was red lasers and blue lasers.
Was it?
Because that's the shirt,
the Cobra had to be red, right?
Knowing is half the battle. The other half is 25% red lasers and 25% blue lasers. Pink lasers.
Pink? That could be just like a red that looked funny on old TVs. I don't know.
Is that the Mexican knockoff G.I. Jose? Did you ever see those jokes?
No.
There's so there's obviously G.I. Joe, right?
Right.
And they always had the "Let's learn, kids" thing about at the end, right? I think it was Robot Chicken who did this thing called G.I. Jose instead, and it was all about NAFTA and how G.I. Jose would take things from the U.S. and bring it back, and he'd be like, "Thanks, G.I. Jose." Like, G.I. Jose. It was really bad, and I don't condone racism, but
that's pretty out there.
It's Rooster. I was gonna say Rooster Teeth. It's not Rooster Teeth. It's Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken is very, very funny. I 100% agree with you. What else? What else should we talk about, guys? What do you want to know? Tell us the things that you want to hear us talk about.
Well, the Rogue One thing I never got to finish.
Oh, go ahead with Rogue One.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought it was going to be an X-Wing movie, but then like the thing that they announced is it's going to be about like the Bothans stealing the plans to the Death Star thing, and I'm like,
ooh, I'm going to do a test because I downloaded a new app the other day for the old thing.
I'm like, we know what happens. Everybody dies. Like,
ouch! Oh, that was really loud.
What did you do to me?
Sorry, internet.
Did everyone get that?
I'm sure you all got that noise.
I'm so sorry.
I apologize. That was rude of me.
For those of you who joined us later in the stream, like this is a brand new thing for Dan, and I'm helping him test it out.
Yeah, so normally I just play video games, and lately, as of late, I have been playing... oh, good. It totally works here. Excellent. So I've got this new bot called AnkBot that I can do all sorts of fun things with. And eventually, like I can do raffle type things, and I can set up basically loyalty points. So the longer you watch, you get points for, and then you can use those points for different things. Like,
do I get points for being on the show?
I could give you points for being on the show. Like, I just be like, gift Alex 1,000 points or whatever the case may be.
Well, let's be reasonable here.
And other things, like you can use those points to, like if I'm playing, like say I'm playing video games and I have like a song request thing up. Oh, that's a terrible joke. I'm not going to repeat that joke. You guys can read that. You should feel bad for that one, Toon Diz. You should feel
Toon
bad.
Says. I thought you had this down.
Well, listen.
You were bragging about having it down.
I did, but, you know, they said a bad joke, so I'm just going to go ahead and say the name wrong. That's just how, that's your punishment. If you want me to get your name right, you need to say nice things. That's just how it's going to be. He's totally kidding, and it's totally fine. Okay, so, Rogue One. Did we talk about Rogue One?
Yeah, I finished it while you
finished
were
Rogue One while I was, you know, not paying attention because I'm, you know, an excellent host. I'm an excellent host, I promise. No,
the joke at the end was like, we know I don't need to see Rogue One. We know what happens. All the Bothans die.
Oh, that's true. Oh, sad. Oh, let's have a moment of silence for all the Bothans. All right, that's enough silence.
You know, one of the things that they never really explain in Star Wars is how the Bothans managed to steal anything from the Imperials, because they're big, giant, hairy humanoids. How did they blend in with stormtroopers? Who are notoriously xenophobic?
How did they blend in an empire? So what do you guys think of them trying to bring back Crash Bandicoot and Spyro?
Spyro?
Spyro.
The dragon?
Yes.
I used to that was like the first couple games I had on my original PlayStation was Crash Bandicoot and Spyro.
Okay.
Crash Bandicoot was actually a really interesting platformer. You know, at least when I was still playing consoles. I
haven't gotten super into it as of yet, but I did buy the Rare package that just came out at the beginning of August. $30, you get 30 games, and it's ranges from the beginning of Rare games all the way up until like the late stuff. So I've got on my Xbox One right now, I've got Battletoads. So once we're finished here, we could totally Battletoad it up if we wanted to. It also has Perfect Dark, 3 or 4 different Crash Bandicoots.
Perfect Dark just never had the sidebar, which I am apparently very good at because I'm easily distracted.
That's okay.
The N64 was never powerful enough to make that game truly fun, because when you really got 4 people in there and like one person with the alien sniper rifle and actually shooting stuff, the whole thing would just slow down, even with the memory expansion pack.
Right.
Like that console never did that game justice.
They put it out on the 360 as well. Like they did a new version of it on the 360. I never bought it at that point. I have it now because it's part of the Rare package, but I would imagine that it probably ran much smoother on the 360.
I would hope so.
The 64.
I mean, like the N64 was like a 64 megahertz processor.
You know
I would hope that a modern computer can emulate that.
So I have it hooked up right now to my TV, so I could play. So I was going to stream Majora's Mask, a run through Majora's Mask, but I was having some trouble getting my my capture card to read it properly. So I had to go off of that. However, I then put in Rogue Squadron and I started playing that, and I remember how fast that game was.
That game was a really good game.
It was, but I remember how fast it was at the time, and I'm playing it now. I'm like, this is so slow. Like the quick turns.
I mean, like you can control the speed, right? Like the
well, even
it was when you started doing the challenges and you had to make the time limits.
Yeah.
Where you had to go fast.
Yeah.
So like if you don't hit that accelerator, I think it was the top right, the right shoulder button to go faster. Like when you went into the close your flaps and go into cruise mode. Like you could never finish in time.
Ames, we'll hit your question in just a second, I promise. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And then I
remember the stupid the snow speeder levels with the
oh yeah, and you'd have to tow cable around.
You had to tow cable, and you had
to
get
two or three loops, and then the last one
you had to get like 3 full loops
and then it
to get the thing down
all over again.
And if you didn't go on top of, like if you crossed your own loops, it would like undo itself, and you had to start over.
Yes, that was a big pain in the ass, and I don't know if it was supposed to be designed that way or if it was just a limitation of
I don't know.
Technology.
But those levels were particularly hard.
Back in our day, games used to be hard, and you didn't get to save every 3 seconds, kids.
Yeah, you had to start that level over every single time you failed.
Okay, I don't want to get too far away from her question.
Okay.
Ames is saying, and this is a good question for you because you know hardware and I don't know that stuff. I've been wanting to get a gaming computer because I just use my normal computer. I don't want to spend a ton of money. Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah. So an interesting thing is like Intel just came out with some brand new processors. Shout out to Intel. You guys are awesome.
What up, Intel?
They sponsor the PC room at PAX, and the LandFest guys are awesome.
Totes awesome.
They just came out with the new Skylake processors. Now, the downside is like the cheapest processor is like $240.
Okay.
But like if you're a builder, you can get a really good system done for probably about $800 and $900.
Excellent.
Now, if you don't have that kind of money, the AMD systems are also pretty good and you almost have no Intel choices when you're building a budget system. You have to go AMD.
Right.
Which is an interesting concept that, like, you know, despite that fact, Intel is still winning that war kind of by far because people just go, I'll just save up a little more and build a computer.
Right.
But like ways to save money. Don't get the i7. As a gamer, you don't need it. Get an i5.
That's an Intel. That's an Intel.
Yeah, that's the Intel Core.
Is that a mother?
No, that's a CPU. So
CPU.
The processor.
Okay.
You don't need that i7, that extra speed. The extra hyperthreading. You don't need that for gaming. It's nice to have. It certainly speeds up the computer for certain things, but for gaming, the i5 is plenty. SSDs are super cheap now, 30 cents a gig for most stuff. The Samsung 850 series, you can get them for about 30 cents a gig.
Okay.
Super fast.
So let's go the other route. So say they're not somebody who
not a builder.
They're not a builder.
Okay.
Do they need to go and buy that super mega Alienware rig?
No, they don't. Like there's the interesting thing in like PC, because PC building is there's a number of companies that build those great machines and charge a huge markup.
Right.
And there's a ton of other great companies that don't charge a huge markup.
Right.
I have a couple friends that buy computers through CyberPower PC.
Mm-hmm.
And they still have a markup because they're building it for you, but it comes with a warranty. And so you pay an extra $100 to $300 depending on what you're having built, and you get something that you're going to have support with, and it's going to be pre-built. So they're kind of great to go with if you're looking to have someone build something for you, and they have a range of options. So
good.
Go check out CyberPower PC if you're looking for help with that.
Yeah. So Ames, I don't have a whole lot to kind of add to that because it's been years since I built a PC, And at this point, I don't know if I'd ever really build one anymore because I don't really PC game all that much. And pretty much the mid-range, even laptops nowadays can.
Well, I mean, the problem with laptops, I think it's you can certainly game, like laptops are certainly gaming capable these days.
Sure.
The limitation is with a laptop, you have to take heat into consideration if you're gaming on there. I would definitely, if you do decide to go with a laptop that has, like a GTX 860M or whatever or better, they're perfectly capable of playing games. You're just gonna make sure you cool it because it will get really hot, and if you let it stay hot for too long,
you're letting it sit on your lap.
It'll actually. It's not just yourself you have to worry about. The laptop will damage itself. It'll start to.
Oh, first of all, because it doesn't have the airflow to cool it down.
I mean, it'll have enough airflow, but if you have the laptop on an insulating surface, the thermal paste will sometimes dry up, or because it's a laptop and there's not a lot of space in there, the dust will start to build up.
Oh, sure.
And so, laptops are really hard to clean out.
Yeah.
And so, you can be proactive about it and canned air through the fans and vacuum it out. But, cooling pad really helps if you decide to go that route. But it's not a terrible option these days.
Nice.
It does cost a little more, but you get, a full computer. Like, you don't have to buy a desktop and then a keyboard and mouse. And getting a keyboard and mouse isn't cheap these days. Like,
no, you can spend.
You can spend easily $300 or $400 on just your peripherals.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we have in the chat? We have buy a Radeon 9. Will wants to point out that, to be fair, at the time of that game's release, checkpoints were a thing in those games. So like checkpoints were important. Like in
Crash Bandicoot, like the checkpoints are definitely important. And you had limited lives, so you couldn't go.
Right, you'd only have so many continues. So even if you died, like you might be able to continue a couple, like another.
But I think in Rogue Squadron, if you failed, you had to start over the entire mission.
Correct. Because you would hear, either you'd blow up and then they'd be like, oh, we lost so-and-so.
Or you would like miss the time and you'd have to just start over if you're trying to make those gold medals.
The escort, yeah, he's talking about Rogue Squadron, right? Or the escort mission, the escort would get, you're escorting somebody in that
the checkpoints were there when you were doing the regular run-throughs, but when you're trying to get those gold medals,
right, you
had to start over.
Fucking gold medals. Fuck those things. I should really try and do that again. All right, so I am having a lovely time talking with you guys. This was meant to be a quick test. We just kind of started rambling as one does. We're looking at an hour and 47 minutes of being live.
Is this a new record for you?
No. As far as broadcasting goes, not even close.
Okay.
I've done 4, 5, 6 hour stints.
Nice.
And playing Minecraft and a couple of other different things. But it's 1:20. I do have to work in the morning.
You do have to work in the morning.
We are getting into... So I'm in the middle of crunch. And those of you guys who aren't in the video game industry, crunch, or any type of software industry, crunch is when you're getting really close to a release and you have a shit ton of work to do in a short period of time. Today I got into the office at 8:30 and I did not leave the office until 6:30 tonight. Tomorrow might be a little bit longer. I'm hoping not. I'd really like to come home because it's the weekend and it's a 3-day weekend coming up. You were wondering why it said... the 15 minutes of lame. She was wondering why it said 15 minutes of lame. That's because I can't stop talking.
Yeah, we weren't even planning to do a thing tonight. We came onto Twitch. We weren't even planning to come onto Twitch. We couldn't get the monitor on the soundboard to show to let us hear what you guys are hearing.
So, I'm not going to do that. Let's just leave this.
Yeah, be careful.
Let's just leave this on your pretty face.
The
sound wasn't working through my soundboard. Like I wasn't getting any type of reading at all, and we were trying to figure that part out. And so then we thought, hey, here's a way we can figure out if it's working or not. Let's go ahead and broadcast live, and I'll plug in my headphones into my iPad, and we'll figure out if it's working or not. And then lo and behold, it was working, and people kind of hopped in, and we just kind of went off.
Yeah.
And that kind of happens.
It worked out.
Yeah. I probably should just, shorten the name of the show to what it is, which is 15M of L. And then it doesn't matter if it's 15 minutes or not, because you're going to be like, what's the 15M of L? And I'm like, you don't know, so it doesn't matter. No, I do not code. I'm a QA test. Actually, I'm a QA analyst. Thank you very much. QA analyst 2. So I test games for a living. More specifically, I do some internal testing for analytics based on what people play and things like that, so that the developers know how much what you guys enjoy and what you don't enjoy and things like that. So that's the kind of stuff that I do. And then when I'm waiting for that, I also get to do some other fun things like video capture of new game content, and I'm actually a voice actor. I have my voice in 2 different points in Plants vs. Zombies 2.
That's super awesome.
I could have an IMDb credit. That's how cool I am right now.
I wish I was as cool as you.
Yeah. Maybe when you're older. Maybe when I'm older. When you start getting grays in your immaculate beard.
Oh, man.
Nope. So, I think... we've got 10 minutes. Should we make it an even 2 hours?
Sure. Does anyone have a question?
Yeah. Chat. What do you want us to talk about for 10 minutes? We've got 10 minutes to be 2 hours.
You got 10 minutes of lame.
10 minutes of lame starting now.
Oh, sorry.
I do kind of have a dream job. It's a pretty awesome job. I get to play video games for a living, and I get to jump into internal company alphas for games such as Battlefront. I've played along. Just tell my boss I saved a fire from a baby.
A fire from a baby?
Just tell your boss you saved a fire from a baby, and they'll forgive you. Boss, I'm so sorry that
I saved late. This fire.
There was this
from
fire,
a baby,
and it was being threatened by a baby. That baby had a menacing poo, and it was just going to drop it right on that fire and put it out. Put it out. That fire that just wanted to live. That just wanted to live, boss. Please, boss, don't fire me, because every fire should have a chance to burn bright. Wow, that was... yeah. All right.
That was pretty dramatic.
That was. Lost reference. I totally lost that reference. You're correct. I totally did. Oh, is it a lost reference from Lost? Or are you saying that I lost the reference? Did you watch Lost?
I didn't watch Lost.
I didn't watch Lost either, so never
mind.
Like
another one of those nerd shame things that we talked about earlier.
Ames, thanks so much for checking out the podcast. I really, really appreciate it. Feel free to hit that follow button. Once Alex gets back to his homeland of the Californias, we'll figure out how to do this more often. I think we may have stumbled across something here in our little fuckscapades here. But feel free to hit that follow button. I may have to build a little
home studio for myself.
Yeah. Oh, so apparently it was a Grandma's Boy reference? Did you watch Grandma's Boy?
I remember seeing that movie.
That was an Adam Sandler movie, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't see it.
Oh.
Because Adam Sandler was awful. Is awful.
He had some good ones.
I will admit that when Click came out, I cried at the end of Click. I did cry at the end of Click. Because I'm a loser that way.
Because Happy Gilmore was kind of a classic.
That's true, too. That's true. But that was back when he,
Billy Madison.
He could still be the drunken idiot.
Yeah.
Now he's just this old guy that tries to be the drunken idiot.
And my secret that I love, don't mess with the Zohan.
Don't mess with the Zohan. Kiss it, kiss it, kiss it. Now sniff it. Whatever that thing was. All right.
I will make it silky smooth.
Silky smooth. We have 7 minutes to go. 7 minutes to go. Let's see. Dark Zora has said, I've never been to Comic-Con, E3, or any of those big gaming events yet. You should check one out sometime.
Yeah, if you can,
let's. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take the last few minutes and say, here is Ames. Thank you very much for following. I really, really appreciate that. What are your... So, say I'm the new person.
Uh-huh.
I've never been to a convention.
Uh-huh.
what can I expect when I go to the convention? Like, what are the things that I should know so that I could have the best convention experience that I could have as a first-timer?
It depends on what kind of person you are.
Sure.
If at all possible, find someone you know who has gone.
That's a good tip.
So that you can either go with them or, at least have someone who knows the area or have someone local. Because I think the hardest part for some people for going, particularly if they go alone, is you're in a new place, you don't know anybody. And conventions can be really overwhelming.
Yeah. That's one good thing about that is because, and first of all, I want to say to anybody who's never been to a convention or you're going, you're planning on going, you're like, how do I get the most out of things? The first thing you got to understand is you are not going to see everything that there is to see.
Yeah, as much as you're going to want to,
you just can't do it.
Doesn't work.
Especially at gaming type conventions where every single game, like the hot ticket items, the ones that everybody wants to play, you're going to be waiting 2 or 3 or even 4 or 5 or, God forbid, 7 or 8 hours. Like, you could spend your whole day in one line.
I mean, particularly at like Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con has gotten kind of...
I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con.
It's not even worth it sometimes anymore. Like I know people who lined up for like 36 hours for Hall H to see the Marvel panel.
That's the big hall, right? Like, that's where they do all the big shows.
And they don't even, like, you can't put a tent, you can't have a bed, you can't have a sleeping bag, you have to stand or sit in line, and they just put it outside.
For 36 hours.
Yeah.
That's awful. Nope, never doing that. That's the first thing I would say is if there's something you really, really want to see or do, you're going to have to understand that you are going to sacrifice a lot of time to that thing. So if it's something that you really, really want, go ahead and do that thing.
Yeah.
But realize that you're going to have to give up other things in order to...
Yeah, you're not going to do everything you want. And I would say, like, number one, take a friend if you can. If you don't have a friend to go with, convince someone to go with you.
That would be good. I mean, you can definitely do it on your own. It's definitely a little... Especially if you're somebody who's not good with big crowds... it can be a little bit of intimidating. Some people do camp out for these type of things, yes. So it can be intimidating if you go by yourself.
But at PAX, there's not a lot of camping.
No,
very, very rarely.
I mean, nothing like that 36 hours.
Nothing like San Diego Comic-Con. That's kind of a Comic-Con thing.
I will say that there were some folks this year. We used to have this room at Comic-Con at PAX called the Q Room. And every morning, you'd get into the queue room, and you would line up, and you would be there for a few hours before the hall ever opened up. And then once the hall opened up, you'd all rush in, and you'd try and get
even the queue room. I don't think people really lined up before 5 a.m.
No, but there were people that were upset that we got rid of the queue room this year that I talked to who said that they used to camp out at 4 a.m. outside the building so they could be the first one in the line in the queue room. And for me, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, they still lined people up. It was just outside.
Right. And it wasn't at 4:30.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, we're wrapping up here shortly. Good, because Dan's about to fall asleep, I think. But, so that's number one. Number two, if you can get your hands on a program before you go, a lot of times they do guidebook.
The guidebook app.
There's an app on both Android and on iOS called Guidebook, and they work with the biggest shows to be able to give you basically the guidebook that you'd get in paper form on site, but it's in digital form. And so you can go through all the scheduling for panels if there's a panel thing that you want to see, or tell you different events that are going on. And you can click on all these different things and kind of make your own personalized schedule so that you can go, all right, it's Friday. Whoops. Sorry, microphone and people who are listening at home. It's Friday. Here's my list of things that I wanted to do today. And then you can go down about that. They also had maps so that you can kind of see where everything is. And these are all wonderful things and things that I would recommend that you take the time to do.
Yeah, and you don't want to schedule yourself too tight.
Right. Give yourself some leeway. Make sure you schedule some time for you.
Because I think the panels you can line up 2 hours early, but no earlier.
It depends on the show. I mean, obviously,
no, I'm just for PAX.
PAX specifically, 2 hours is probably the maximum.
Because E3 is media only, so
yeah, 2 hours is probably the maximum that they'd allow at PAX.
Yeah.
But obviously, like you were saying, for Hall H over at
and they just started
Comic-Con.
GameStop Expo this year.
Yep.
It's going on right now.
TwitchCon's coming up here at the end of the month.
About 3 weeks.
I'm
hoping that, yeah. That's local to me.
Alex lives in the San Francisco area. He's kind of hoping that TwitchCon will be a thing that he gets to do. I'm a little bit jealous of that. That would be awesome. DJ FHFJ, can you ask a question? Feel free to ask your question, but choose wisely, for you only get one question. Other things about the convention. If you can, don't carry first of all, don't carry a gigantic backpack. Like, I mean, if you are, you are. But what I recommend is having packing light. Pack some snacks.
Yeah, definitely pack some snacks.
So you're gonna be in line for a little while.
Healthy snacks if you can. Water. Carry a water bottle. There's fountains all over in most convention centers, but you want to stay hydrated. There's a lot of people who end up getting sick, between the heat and the overexertion and kind of pushing yourself too hard to get to things early. You end up kind of losing track of yourself. So make sure you eat. Make sure you drink water.
Make sure you take some time away from the convention. Just because you bought, a pass for however long that convention is, doesn't mean you need to spend every waking moment at that convention. Yeah. Make sure you take some time to get away so you can decompress. That's not compress because you're getting compressed. So that you can decompress. You can get away from the crowds. You get a chance to kind of calm down, collect yourself. A lot of times people go to these conventions and the first timers, they're so stressed out because it's their first PAX and they don't want to miss anything, that they end up overworking them, getting superly overworked up, and they end up passing out and need medical attention sometimes.
Never like seeing that. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Gil,
and if you are going to go out partying,
Billy, J&R, you're not making fun of my buddy, so I'm going to give you a little timeout so that you can think about what you've done, and then maybe you can come back if you can play nice. Once again, rule 1 of my streams is to be a nice person. If you're going to be a dick, you're going to be out. That's one warning. If you come back after your 600 seconds, 10-minute after your 10-minute timeout,
at which point we'll be gone.
So yeah, we're totally going to bounce on you. We're actually at 2 hours and 2 minutes. So we'll wrap up on like the quick thoughts on how to help out.
You promised that guy you would answer his question.
He didn't ask a question. Did you have that question, DJ FHFJ? Besides lol chill? So just in case you wanted to know, this person wanted to know if you actually pack healthy snacks or not. I think he's making a fat joke.
Oh.
What a dick.
I pack lots of healthy snacks.
Yeah, I've got a healthy snack for you right here. How old am I and what do I do for a living? I am 36 years old and I am a quality analyst for Electronic Arts Incorporated. I play video games for a living is what I do. And I make sure that the games that I am assigned are up to a certain quality so that you as a gamer will enjoy your game. And hopefully it's sent out with as few bugs in it as possible, but sometimes they slip through. So that's what I do. Alex also works in software.
Yeah, I'm a software consultant in this Silicon Valley.
So is that engineering work or is it like helping like the plant, like PM work or?
Oh, I do build and release. So other people make software and I kind of make it work.
So when there's a new release, your job is to create the build for that release. And
I build automation so that for every development release and then every production release that, the developers can commit a revision.
It creates the build on automation and
deploys it to a server so they can test it and then fix stuff and redeploy and so on and so forth.
Gotcha.
I do that automation.
You're the person I hate. I had to wait for a little automation today. We had, some of the builds that we were working on kept breaking, so we had to wait.
Well, if it takes too long, it's usually the developer's fault.
Yeah, it's probably a dev's fault. But it is pretty damn cool. EA has made games like Madden and Zuma and Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and soon to be Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, which is badass, and also Plants vs. Zombies 2, which, by the way, you can hear my sultry voice as one of the zombies, but you'll never know it was me.
I'm sold.
You'd never know it was me. Okay. Any final questions in the chat? Anything at all before we call it a night? Because it is 20 minutes to 2 in the morning, and my alarm is going off at 6:45.
Oh, man.
It's Friday. It's fine.
That's
It'll
fine.
totally be fine. I might end up going into work a little bit late tomorrow.
That's
fine.
All
right.
Because you're planning to work late anyway.
I'm going to be working late anyway. It's totally fine. But I just told us... what did I just tell you? I don't remember. I did not test NFL Street. I work specifically in the PopCap space. So EA owns PopCap Studios, and I work mostly on PopCap titles. I do a little bit of stuff in the mobile space within EA, but for the most part, I handle PopCap titles. My voice is in the game, but you're hearing my voice right now, but it doesn't sound like this in the game. So, that said, it's there. Okay, so 2 hours, 6 minutes of a test. I think we did pretty well here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my good friend Alex. He has been hanging out with me tonight to test this silly nonsense that I've been doing. You can follow me on the tweets if you like, Danicus523, or the podcast is actually 15MofL. We try to do a podcast once a week, and it is on the iTunes and on the Stitcher. If those are your things, feel free to go there. If you like it, feel free to go ahead and hit a review. I'd really appreciate that. Alex, anything you want to say before we take off tonight? Dark Zora, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that so much. You got anything?
No. I mean, do I do like a Ron Burgundy thing?
You stay classy, San Diego.
You stay classy. Twitch TV.
DJF, HFJ, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, when I finish my podcast, I always say the one thing. I'm going to find it because I can never remember the thing in total. So, Alex, vamp. Do you know what vamp means?
No.
Alex, talk about things to waste time while I look something up.
Oh.
You're doing awesome.
I'm kind of spent, man.
It's all right. I got it. I totally found it. You did perfectly. You did such a good job. All right. So
I accidentally.
There's a meme out there that says "Be like Han," and if you've never seen it, this is what it says. There's the scene in Empire where they go to the Cloud City.
I'm really glad this is a Star Wars thing because I was totally thinking Han from Fast and the Furious for a second.
No. Spoilers. They go to Cloud City and they get betrayed and Vader's there. So this is what it says in the meme. And I always end my show by saying, be like Han, because that's kind of my motto in life, be like Han. And here's why. So Han's walking down the halls of Bespin with his old friend Lando. Leia's there looking good, and Han thinks he's off to dinner, maybe some wine, a little flirty, and then back to the old guest quarters with her hotness. But the door opens up, and there's Darth Vader. Han doesn't look incredulously at Lando. He doesn't duck or run away. What does Han do? He starts shooting at the motherfucker. He starts shooting. So, be like Han. So that's what I want you guys to do. Dude, I'm getting rated. Nice. Steve AG, thank you so much for the follow. Bailey for president, thank you so much for the follow. You are getting in right at the end zone here.
Oh, Man.
It's not a fucking raid. Billy Wolfcry, thank you very much. Man, y'all are jumping in right here as we're about to leave. High five to safety. Thanks for the follow. Livy Gots, thanks for the follow. Roboticus, thanks you for the follow. God damn it. Does that mean we have to stay up?
It's your call. Your channel, man.
Evil Pancake, thank you so much for the follow. I don't know if I've got much left in me, unfortunately.
I'm just here.
Kappa. Guys, thank you very much for checking out the stream. What are you doing on Sunday, Alex?
I don't know.
You got anything going on?
Maybe we can stream.
Maybe we have another little episode.
A little bonus show.
We have a little bonus. A little boner show. I mean, bonus show? No, not boner show. No, bad.
I think that's strictly against Twitch policies, Dan.
Yeah, I will keep... Well, I mean, you know, maybe I find a skeleton and it's got bones.
Right? I guess you could do that.
Why you gotta hate on bones?
I got nothing against bones or boners.
Guys, thank you so much. It's been a long day for me. I would love to stay now that I've got, 12 of you sitting here looking at our ugly mugs. Apparently his good-looking mug, according to the girl that was in here earlier, and my not-so-ugly face. Maybe it's an ugly face. 19. Gosh darn, you guys. Right at the end. You guys should have been here like 2 hours ago. I'm sad. But we'll be back Sunday, hopefully with a little bit better of a mock-up on the screen than what you're seeing. This black and white and silly nonsense on this.